Sairam to everybody. We will initiate today's Satsang as we do every time with 3 Omkars. I request all of you to join me for the Omkaram. Offering my most loving salutations at the divine lotus feet of our most benevolent Bhagwan, respected Professor Anil Kumar Garu, and my dear fellow participants of the Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation. Sairam to all of you. Today we are indeed blessed, immensely blessed, for 2 reasons. We are now coming to a grand finale in the next couple of weeks. We have had a long journey for the last 9 months on this program of national leadership for self-transformation. And today, we are so blessed to have with us as a speaker, I would never say as a guest speaker, Professor Anil Kumar Garu is a fatherly figure for all of us. And if at all in the mission of Sathya Sai, if anyone is known to be closer to Bhagwan in physical form as well as in mental form, it's none other than Professor Anil Kumar Garu. I have known him for more than 50 years of my life, and he's a fatherly figure to me, and he has been advising me on various needs of my personal life as well as organizational life. In fact, I would not hesitate to say that he has been my mentor after Swami. For those of you who have not been with Sathya Sai organization, there are a few of them who have entered into the Sathya Sai organization this year through this program. For those of you, I would like to mention that as Lord Hanuman was to Lord Sri Rama, I don't think I should say I'm convinced that Professor Anil Kumar is the Hanuman of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Avatar. If at all anybody recollects the name of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, I would say Professor Anil Kumar is an alter ego or a seva of Dasana Dasa of Swami. He has served in many capacities as the principal of the Vrindavan campus of the Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, and more so, he has been the professor and head of the Department of Biosciences at the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning at Prashanti Nilayam. More importantly, I would say that as the state president of the Andhra Pradesh, the Avatar Pradesh where Swami was born, there is not a single village in the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh state that Uncle or Professor Anil Kumar Uncle has traveled. He has gone by car, he has gone by bus, he has gone by truck, he has gone by cycle. He has also treaded on foot to reach out to the far-flung villages to spread the name of Swami. We all know that perhaps he has traveled every continent in the world to spread Bhagwan's message. Every country he must have traveled to spread Swami's message. Every state in India he must have traveled to spread Swami's message. More so, as the translator of Bhagwan's divine discourses, he is impromptu and he is as active as ever. In fact, if you look at the Navavidha Bhakti Margas, Sakyam, friendship that Professor Anil Kumar and Swami has is something to be really seen and enjoyed. He's a regular speaker in Prashanti Nilayam, and he must have spoken in front of Swami for decades and hundreds of times. So we have the rarest of the opportunity. We have the rarest of the opportunity to listen to him today. And I wholeheartedly, with reverential pranams to Uncle, invite him to address all the participants of the National Leadership Program. Uncle, to give you a very quick brief of this program was launched in March 2020. This is a 9-month-long program. It's called a Diploma in Sri Sathya Sai Leadership and Self-Transformation, National Leadership Program and Self-Transformation. And we have associated this program with the Satsang Institute of Higher Learning for the first time. And we have 187 participants, about 57 girls and rest of them being boys. Not holding you between these participants and your own self, I request you to kindly address our participants. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram to everybody. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagawan. Dear young friends, let me first compliment, congratulate, convey my deep sense of appreciation and gratitude to my Gopi, who is mainly instrumental for inviting me to this Zoom meeting. In fact, I know him, the whole of the family, for the last 5 decades. I thank Gopi. Yes, and I'm extremely happy to participate in this concluding session of this. I have gone through the various topics you have had, and you must have had wonderful presentations by distinguished speakers and experts in different fields of public life. Now, the role I have taken, the topic I have picked up is Sai, the leader. Well, my boys and girls, let me recall what happened long back. Bhagwan started from his place and he was giving darshan to everybody. Those of you who have seen Sai Kulwant Hall can imagine how spacious it is. It is fully occupied. And in the front rows, students are seated. And the rest occupied by devotees. Students in the front row, the 1 or 2 rows are occupied by MBA boys, Masters of Business Administration. They were holding spiral-bound books. Swami just came there and asked the boys, what are you doing? What are those books? They said, Swami, this is our project work. Project work? On what? Swami asked. They said, Swami, on leadership program. We prepared this. Then Swami said, you need a project? When leader is here, what is it that you want? When the very leader is here, what is that you want? That's what he said. A remarkable statement that is still ringing in my ears as I take up this topic for this evening. Yes, in fact, we should know the purpose of avatar. The purpose of avatar is to demonstrate in life how one should be. The goal of life, the path of life, the ideals of life, the values of life are lived by avatar and demonstrated to the rest of the humanity. Most of you, I'm sure, might not have seen him in physical form. I'm also sure that most of you might not have had interaction with him. But yet, we might not have had interaction with Sri Ramachandra. We didn't have any interaction. We didn't enjoy proximity with Lord Krishna, but yet we follow their path. We follow their command. Likewise, let me give you a few instances on this topic, Sai, the leader. Who is the leader? On close observation of Bhagawan Baba, for the last 25 years, or close to 30, I'm sure, settled in Prashanti Nilayam, I observed certain important major features which I would like to share with you. It is largely said and accepted that living with God is education. Having been here for 3 decades, I have had enough of experience and education touching his lotus feet almost every day. So who is the leader? Let me say a few things based on my observation, my friends. It is not speculation. It is not imagination. It is not hallucination. It is basic, fundamental observation. Well, who is the leader? Leadership is not a position. Leadership is a responsibility. Leadership is not for a recognition. Leadership is to be a role model. Leadership is not to be conferred. Leadership has to be achieved and attained. Leadership is beyond publicity, propaganda. No leader brags his own activity at any point of time. Like this, let us go into the annals of the avatar of the day, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. The leadership started from his childhood. When he was a boy, he gathered all village children around him, playing with them, and started teaching bhajans. He made other boys practice bhajans, and all those bhajans are composed by him. There the leadership started. There the movement started. Meaning a leader should have that magnetic effect, that kind of divine attraction to have all gather around him. It is not humanly possible at that young age. All boys used to gather around him, play with him, and he taught them bhajans. And later, he didn't stop there. He taught them certain subjects like mathematics, science, whatever may be, the subjects they were taught in the school. He started his career as a bhajan teacher, as a school teacher, academician also. That is the quality, right from childhood. This makes us understand that a leader is born. A leader is not the one who falls from the heavenly manna. No, a leader is born, as in the case of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Then you may ask me, how about me? Am I born with leadership quality? You may put me that question. The answer is this. He has come down on earth to make everybody a leader, to make every one of you an ideal leader. So his leadership is to train the leaders. That's what it is. So let's not doubt that we are not leaders, that we could not follow him. No. So then comes the other third aspect. First, the bhajan leader. 2, academic leader. And third aspect. This being a village, the village had head, whom we call the village of revenue officer. Well, he had certain vices or bad habits. Baba went close to his house along with his boys, started singing a song composed on this village head, a man of vices. The purpose is to correct him, to rectify him, to transform him. So they went on singing in front of him, front of the house of that village head, pointing out all his mistakes, all his vices. Then what happened? That village had called Baba to go into his residence and spoke to him, how much you want. I'll give you. Stop singing like that. Stop drawing me to the public, making me a mockery here. Then Bhagavan said, I don't want any money. I don't want any favor from you, but I want to reform you. I want to transform you. I want you to be a real leader of this village because you are the head of this village. You are the revenue officer of the village. There, third dimension of the leadership of Bhagavan, a reformer. A leader is a reformer. A leader is a transformer. He transforms. And then I would come to the fourth aspect of leadership. This leadership is not simply given by somebody, and is not a favor by anybody. It is not any kind of extra favor done to him. He achieved it. Therefore, leadership is not conferred. Leadership is achieved. Leadership is attained. It is not conferred. No. It is not a nomination. It is not a selection. It is an attainment. Swami attained that leadership. How? He faced all the challenges. Leadership is not that easy. He faced challenges that way, that the hut where he was sleeping was put to fire. When some snack was brought to him, they mixed poison. They ill-treated him. They criticized him. They could not accept him, even the near and the dear. The brothers did not accept him. The village people did not accept him, but yet he faced all the challenges. But yet he faced all the problems all by himself. So leadership is not a bed of roses. Leadership is not simply a position to enjoy. Leadership is a challenge. Leadership is a challenge that you have to face all kinds of bumps and jumps, face whips and lashes, ups and downs from all directions. And a true leader should grow beyond the praise and the blame. A leader should not be carried away by the praises and think they are true. A leader should not be depressed or frustrated because of blame. So a leader should be beyond pleasure and pain. Here is our leader, Bhagawan Baba, who has risen, who has transcended this pain and pleasure. How? Somebody said, Bhagavan, some people are criticizing you. Some people have been speaking most unwanted, undesirable stuff, utter falsity, total falsehood. What shall we do? This is the answer that Baba has given. All those that praise me come to the size of this mountain. All those that criticize me come to the size of this mountain. I am in between the two. I bless both. Why? Because those of the size of a mountain that praise me are happy by praising me, singing my glory. Well, I bless this mountain of critics, agnostics, skeptic personalities. I bless them. Why? By constant criticism, blasphemy. They enjoy. So your joy is my joy. Your happiness is my happiness. Let them praise, let these people blame. You feel happy in your own way because what he said was, bliss is my food. Bliss is my food, yes. Therefore, whatever we have, our state is food to Bhagavan. So this is only to let you know, the leader should outgrow the praise and the blame. with equanimity, with equipoise, with composure, with perfect balance. That is what I have seen in Bhagavan. I could also tell you another thing. A great scholar, the first principal of Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Prashanti Nilayam campus, a great scholar, a renowned man. He approached Swami and mildly, slowly, softly, humbly has put a question this way. Swami, I am not able to bear those that speak against you. What shall I do? What shall I do then? Is the answer of Swami. You are hearing because ears you have. You cannot help it. But I gave you the legs also to walk away from that place. You can walk away, you can get out of that place. Therefore, a leader should be of that spirit, of that standard, not to be a victim, not to respond, to call and to respond to everybody. No, not necessary. Then what next is the quality of a leader? A leader recognizes all those that work in his or under his leadership, and the leader praises them. The leader recognizes them. Leader recognizes them. He appreciates them. I very well remember Swami addressing at all national conferences, international conferences, Swami mentioning the names of all the heads of the organization, and he says they are responsible for the success of the conference. But those who are here know pretty well that they are not at all the cause for the success. If I am to say, to some extent, the planning, but what about Bhagavan here? When the conference is to take place in the month of November, he starts working right from, September. He goes on planning. He visits the spot. He visits the place. He goes on inquiring where the tents are to be put. He goes on finding out where the water facility is there, where the food is supplied, where the lines or queues are to be formed, about the electricity, every minute detail. He goes to the grounds everywhere, supervises, monitors, directs every subtle point. That is the quality of a leader. Leader is not there merely to delegate duties to everybody. Baba is the first one to start the work. He sees to it that all attend to their duties assigned to them. And in the final stage, he supervises finally to what extent they could come up to his expectations, suggests some suggestions, and goes back. And then at the time of the inauguration, all dignitaries and all the special invitees occupy their chairs in rapt attention to listen to him. There he appears. The one who worked ceaselessly, endlessly, toiled very hard for 2 months, appears only at the time of the commencement of the program. And there he congratulates, compliments everybody. He doesn't say, I have done it. He never claims, I did it. He never says that I designed it, that I planned it. Certainly not. This is the quality of a leader. A leader should project all those who are under his leadership, all those who follow the instructions, all those who contributed to the success, be that minor or major, whatever. So a leader should approve, accept, acknowledge, compliment all those under his leadership. That's the quality I observed in him. And as a leader, what else I observed? He will find out the talented boys right from the day of admission. He will ask a boy to speak. He starts his lecture. He fumbles. He trembles. He commits mistakes. Because of that, because it is the first experience to that boy to speak. That large audience also quite new to him. The subject is not familiar. He suddenly picked up to speak. Naturally, even elderly person, even experienced person will not be able to make any speech without prior preparation. So the boy fumbles and you are shaking. Then at the end of the meeting, you know what Swami says? He comes very close to boys. What does he tell them? He spoke from his heart. You don't laugh at him. Whereas you fellows speak from the lips. He spoke from his heart. Bhagavan knows that no one is pleased with this talk there in the congregation. That no one was appreciative of his talk. But Swami tells he spoke from his heart. Why? It only means a leader is not to judge. A leader is not to assess. A leader is not to assign grades to his people. He should never discourage. He should never depress them. He should never frustrate them. That is the quality of a leader. Then what happens? He finds a fellow, come on, you sing bhajan today. He starts singing in his own way. And later, he'll grant him interview and says, boy, you sang nicely, but practice little more, practice little more. When Baba said, practice little more, well, that boy starts practicing in the hospital day and night. And today, all the singers in Prashanti Nilayam are groomed, or shaped, or trained by Bhagavan himself. Otherwise, they are nowhere, I can tell you. Nowhere. Because they are shaped, they are molded. Because the sculptor is Bhagawan Baba himself. Therefore, the job of a leader is to pick up the talented people, not to think that he is an amalgam or combination of all talents on earth. A leader is not to project his talent. A leader is to find out talent among his people. That is the quality of a true leader, as I observed in Bhagavan. That's why today we have singers, melodious singers today in Prashanti Nilayam. And we have got boys who really felt in the early period of their admission into this campus, slowly picked up courage and ready to act in college dramas. And they could become very successful actors. Why? Swami attends every rehearsal. Every rehearsal, I know. I followed Swami for 1 full month, the rehearsal session. Every day he comes there, every day, and watches the rehearsal as if he is watching the drama for the first time. He has seen that, he saw that repeatedly. Why should you look at the drama as if it was enacted for the first time? The reason is, when Swami is there, all actors will feel that responsibility. Actors or singers or those that play on instruments, they are fully aware that Swami expects them to be masters, the professionals, people of excellence, because the whole society, the Sai world of devotees will scrutinize, will estimate, will grade them where they stand in the sight of public. Therefore, they have got to be perfect. Therefore, a leader should be a perfectionist. He should be perfect. The end of culture, the end of culture is perfection, as Bhagavan says. Perfection is Bhagavan. Therefore, Swami made all these boys perfect because he trained them like that. But he never claimed. That is the beauty of it. Everyone thinks that they are talented, therefore they are brilliant speakers. And everyone sings and thinks of themselves, well, I'm a great singer. Yes, after all, for that age, it may be quite understandable, excusable. But later they will come to know the source. The source is Bhagavan. Therefore, a leader should be not only resourceful, he should be the source to many of the people who are with him, around him, under his supervision. So, find out the talent, give them number of opportunities, encourage them throughout, project them. I'll give another instance. In those years, 70s or early 80s, I know Swami invited very, very eminent great scholars. I can give you 50 names now, but I don't want to take your time. Very great scholar, Remila Surya Prakash Shastri. He is not a small man. Gaddigoda Subramanya Shastri, Cherkumali Kamaldhani. They are not. Uppanuri Ganapati Shastri, Kalluri Virabhadra Shastri. Wow. Men of eminence, men of recognition, who gave their life for learning Sanatana Dharma, for preaching Sanatana Dharma. They dedicated their life for Sanatana Dharma. Wide reputation they had. Swami invited them to address one on each day during the Sara celebrations. Later, what happened? Right from late 80s, he made boys only to speak. No scholar from outside. No expert from outside. Because by the time the students have gained sufficient experience, they gained sufficient knowledge, and therefore they can speak with courage and conviction. And hence Swami started giving chances to those people to speak during the Sara celebrations. It only means we should train our people to come to that expected standards such that they become acceptable to the entire community. If I'm given a chance, it is not a favor. If I'm given a chance to speak because Swami's grace, Swami's training, Swami's prompting, Swami's inner voice guiding me at every moment. And he will make you a very successful speaker every time. Therefore, our aim should be aim high, soar high. A leader should aim high. And then next leadership quality is this. Swami, what does he do here? When great celebrities, legendary figures like M.S. Subbulakshmi, the very embodiment of Mahasaraswati, a great musician of international repute, M.S. Subbulakshmi from Chennai. When she comes to Swami as a devotee, Swami asks her to sing. Wow. She forgets herself. She is lost in that melody of her music, particularly Tyagaraja Kirtan. Swami loves the traditional classical music to such an extent. After rendition of one song, he would beckon her and say, sing this song, Endaro Mahanbhav. Well, oh Swami, well, she jumps in ecstasy and starts singing. At the end, she calls her back. Oh, Subbulakshmi, sing this song, Rama Bhakti Samrajya. These are all favorite classic Tyagaraja compositions. Swami just goes on conveying his wishes so that Subbulakshmi would catch immediately, sing and make Swami happy. and all the devotees extremely happy. The story does not end there. After she concluded, Swami will ask few boys to sing. Swami will ask few boys to lead us in bhajans. Why? When that great lady sang excellently, an international figure, why these boys bhajan again? Can't she sing bhajans? Does she not know bhajans? Why these boys? The reason is, let Subbalakshmi know, let all the top musicians know that Sathya Sai has, under his divine care and training, there are prospective singers. There are singers who will blossom in the garden of Sai in full in the years to come. When Bhimsen Joshi presents a program, he will ask boys to lead us into bhajans. So whosoever may come, Swami wants to expose his own children. Sathya Sai University or Sathya Institute of Learning is not for spiritual training or scriptural information. It is for transformation. It is to develop a total personality, an integrated personality. That is the leadership. That is the leadership. Another quality of leadership that I found in Bhagawan is this. He will always have the second line of leadership ready. If you sing, there will be few people ready. For any reason, if you are not there, you will be substituted better. You will be substituted better. So every leader should know there is an opportunity given to him. And he cannot claim anything on his own. And that he is not indispensable, that he can be replaced by a better person. That is the Sai movement. Take, for example, translators. I am not the only person. Number of translators. Purgul Ramkrishna Rao. Then came S. Bhagavantam, Dr. Amarendra, Nanjundaya, number of translators. He always ready with a number of substitutes, with a number of people ready to take up the job. A movement or activity should not come to a standstill because of a person. It is a movement, and it is an endless river that flows incessantly. It will flow and flow. Like that, a true leader will train some people ready, the second line of leadership. If he leaves everybody in abyss, in void, in emptiness, so that everyone thinks, oh, he is not there, we are at a loss. He is no leader at all. He is no leader at all. He should have a team of people ready to take up the responsibility and who will equal him, even excel him, given the chance. That is the true leadership. That's what I found in Bhagawan. The next leadership quality is this. In times to check people, at times when people are to be along the right path, well, he admonishes them. He chides them. He'll be very harsh towards them. No vengeance there. No vindictivity over there. No feeling inside. Swami pretends to be angry. He is never angry. He openly said, I don't know what anger is. But we know Swami shouting at some people. How can a man of no anger can ever shout? Then Baba says, I pretend to be angry. This pretension is to transform you, is to reform you, to correct you, to put you on the right path. That's what he says. And then what happens? Within a couple of days, he calls these boys, gives them ice creams, gives them all refreshments, give them rings and chains so that they forget what all that had happened. This is quality of a true leader. Forget and forgive. You should be able to forget. You should be able to forgive. You cannot carry on with all the vengeance like a snake or a cobra. Vengeance is the quality of a cobra. Swami is never like that. His forgiveness, I can give an example. A person who spent considerable period of time, enjoyed all preferential treatment, experienced all kinds of miracles, suddenly eclipsed from this place without informing Swami. And he returned to this place after 10 or 12 years or even 15. He was hesitating how to face him. I left him 10 to 15 years long back. I received all the blessings. I am the recipient of all the divine gifts, but I have not been here all these years. He was feeling very guilty. Swami goes, giving his darshan, stops in front of him. Immediately, that man falls at his feet and he sheds tears as if he is washing Swami's feet with his tears. And then that man says, Swami, I could not see you, Swami, all these years. I was almost crying. Do you know what Baba said? You might have forgotten me. You might have forgotten me. I never forget you. You might not have thought of me, but I always think of you. You may feel that you are forsaken, but I tell you, I shall not forsake you. I shall not leave you until I accomplish that what I want to through you. In other words, we are all instruments in his hands. He will never leave you. He will pursue until he fulfills his wish. That's what Bhagawan Baba is. Forgive and forget. True leader should have this quality. I also remember a person coming close to Swami, elderly man, and he started kneeling in kneeling posture with folded hands. He was pleading with Swami, Swami, I committed many mistakes. I committed many sins. I committed many blunders. Pardon me, Bhagavan, pardon me. Do you know what he said? Parva nahi, my child. Past is past. Past is beyond recovery. Future is uncertain. Future is uncertain. Past is beyond recovery. Life is in the present. Life is in the present. God is here now. God is here now. God is not a promise. God is not a hope. He is not an object. Therefore, a leader should have this noble quality to forgive and to forget. Another leadership quality that what I noticed in Bhagavan, these are just thoughts coming to me. I have not kept any paper talking to you. What is this paper? Having had education right from him, living with God is education. What papers, books I need? Not necessary. Leaders should have this quality. What is it? I accompanied Swami to Kodaikanal quite a number of times. We were all busy there, squatting on the ground, waiting for Bhagavan. Swami just came, climbed the dais, and called me. Anil Kumar, you see, sitting at the back, there's an old lady. Ask her to come to the front. Make her sit on the chair, he said. I was wondering why. Why didn't you look at me? All VIPs are in front of you. All men of authority, of exalted position, influential people, men of affluence, plenty, and prosperity are lined up. Why do you want that old lady to be seated there? Then Swami slowly, softly tells me, she is the lady who visited me. She is the lady who served me food when I visited Coimbatore. I remember that. Call her. In other words, a true leader should not forget the contribution of the people, of the team he works with. Because most often we submit ourselves to this weakness. One person might do so much. All right, forget, I'll pick up another man. Well, he must have done a lot. What if there are many people who are doing a lot? That is not at all the quality of a leader. I know that. Swami recognizing the old timers during his 60th birthday in Hillview Stadium, Swami honored old timers, very old people who could not climb the steps and reach the dais. They are not rich people. Why has he honored them with silver plate and silver cups and the clothes, cash? Why? They contributed. They participated in the divine mission. Therefore, a leader should never forget the contributors to the divine mission and try to neglect them or drop them. It is not the quality of a leader at all. Our Bhagawan, yes, he remembers all those old times, everybody. I know long back, I think it was in 1973, Purnachandra Auditorium. A gentleman sat by my side to spend some time, to kill some time, to engage myself. I just inquired, sir, where are you from? He said, I'm from Rajamundry. Oh, sir, what are you? He said, I'm a doctor. Thank you, sir. Nice meeting you. Then Swami came, giving darshan. He stopped there and said, oh, doctor, you came here after 25 years. Meeru maratsavatsu kani, Swami maratsadaya. You may forget. I don't forget you. And then looking at people around, he said, when I visited Rajamundry, this doctor took him in his car to every place. He drove the car everywhere. That is gratitude. A leader should have gratitude. The leader should be alert of what is going on. That's what I found in Bhagavan. Not only that, a leader is very strict at work. A leader will not tolerate any lenience, any neglect. Nobody can take it in an easy way. He wants you to do your work seriously. And even if you pretend, you will be detected. I'll give you my own example. It was the time of construction of the super specialty hospital. And I was asked to take care of students as they do service activities. Boys, oh, they are doing wonderful service, carrying bricks, the cement bags, the gravel to work spots. They were doing it. I was standing and supervising. I was quite new to this place and the culture. Swami came and stopped his car and said, come on, Anil Kumar, what are you doing? Swami, I'm watching what boys are doing, who are doing and who are not doing. And then Swami said, what are you doing? What are you doing? You should do first and make others follow you. That is the quality of a leader. A leader does and inspires others to follow. I can give you a number of examples. We had an illustrious example by name Krishnamurti from East Godavari, who was the state convener of Andhra Pradesh. Krishnamurti served as correspondent of Sathya Sai Gurukulam in Rajamundry later. of idea. He was the director of Tobacco Board, not a small man. As a Seva convener, believe me or not, he is the first man to get up. 5 o'clock or 4:30, early hours of the morning. And he is the last man to go to bed. See that? I cannot forget that great personality. If I could do some little work, decimal, minimal work, because of the inspiration I received from that great personality, Krishnamurti, the state Sevadal convener. To give an example, we were all very busy in Divisima of Krishna district of Andhra Pradesh, which had suffered a lot because of cyclone havoc. Cyclone havoc. Swami sent trucks loads of rice and provisions and asked the Sevadal to go over there. We stayed there for 1 full month. Dead bodies were not removed. Electricity supply was not there at that time. Nothing. This Sevadal convener raised tents, assigned duties. He started doing it. He joined others as they do. Tents were raised. Work was going on in full swing. One day, town devotees close by to that place, they brought rubber laddu, sweets, laddus, they brought laddus for all of us. Well, I'm ready to eat first. Then I went close to him, Krishnamurti Garu, can we have laddus? You know what he said? This is a service camp. This is a cyclone hit area. When people don't have enough of food, a morsel of food, a glass of water to drink, they lost all their shelter. Anil Kumar Garu, how can we have laddus here? And he sent them back. Here, please take away. It's not for us. That is the leader. Leader is not for luxury. A leader is not for luxury. He stayed with us in the same tents where we stayed. In fact, there were some people who were rich enough in the same village. They have got very good houses. He could have stayed there. He was invited to stay with them. But he said, no, Sevadal is here, I will sleep with them. He was the state convener. That is the leader. Leader meaning he lives with these people. He shares their problems, their experiences, such that all people will understand. He is a leader who lives. Walk the talk. Walk the talk. Practice what you preach. As Baba said, heroes on platform, zeros in practice. It should not be like that. A leader should be a hero on platform, equally a hero, a role model in practice too. I also remember some of the international heads at the time, late Sri Indulal Shah. I remember him. And he came to Sundaram. I saw him there. I saw him there in Kodaikanal. In Dharmakshetra, Bombay. What did I notice? He was always standing behind. He was always standing behind, making the Sevadal office for bearers to come to the front. The duties are assigned such: one to open the door of the car of Bhagawan, one to offer the flower to Bhagawan, one to escort him, one to introduce him, one to be there, sit by his side of Swami, and one to propose vote of thanks. That's how leaders have developed in the whole of this country because of that man. So, leaders, who are the leaders? Who has, to his credit, number of leaders to take charge of his position, who could do much better than what he would have done for himself. That's what true leadership as I have seen the hierarchy of organization, and I have experienced the top leaders of the organization, as I have been along this Sai path, right from the year 1970. I know that. And a leader should be very, very humble, very, very simple. A leader should not be headstrong. A leader should not look egoistic. He may not be egoistic, but you may look egoistic. Both in content, stuff by nature. You may be simple, but you should not look proud and egoistic.
Uncle Sairam, Uncle, you muted yourself, Uncle. Sir, unmute this call there. By mistake, you seem to have muted yourself. Please unmute. Uncle, you are muted. Microphone, ఒకసారి tap చేయండి.
Beside the camera symbol, right now you have clicked on the camera symbol and the camera turned off and on. And pakkane mic symbol undi sir. If you can click on that, it will unmute.
Camera పక్కన mic ఉంది. Uncle, camera symbol ఉందా? Video symbol? Uncle, ఇట్లాంటి symbol ఉంటుంది uncle. This one. ఇట్లాంటి symbol ఉంటుంది. ఈ symbol. Microphone symbol ఉంటుంది.
Clicking on the video symbol, sir. Video symbol pakkana, yeah. Yes, we can hear you. Sairam. Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, one is Pranav, the other is Bharadwaj, who coached me, but it has been adult education. I could not catch up to the expertise.
Uncle, can you also switch on the camera now?
Okay.
Camera button ఉంటుంది. First నొక్కారు చూడండి మీరు.
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Right, uncle.
Right. You hear all along? ఏమిటో మాట్లాడబడుతున్నాయి. Hello?
Uncle, you can go ahead, uncle. You are wide and clear.
Okay, voice is clear?
Perfect, uncle.
Audio, video clear?
Yes, perfect.
And then another leadership quality I observed in Bhagawan is this. He is the ultimate in singing, expert. In organization, top manager. In speaking, no one can equal him. In scholarship, in wisdom, in practical life, in engineering, in medicine, is the ultimate. Well, we cannot be that multi-talented personalities. It's not possible. At least the subject we have. As a leader, I should have enough of subject. I should have enough of knowledge to communicate. So, a true leader should be expert in his own field. He should know what is what, do's and don'ts, the methodology, the planning. And then, I know you youngsters must have been trained on different topics, like presentations, like communication skills, But my friends, you may be trained as in corporate bodies. But Sathya Sai leadership program is not a corporate training. It's a different thing altogether. I'll tell you what it is. This is possible by observing Bhagavan, by observing the top people. Yes, we can learn from them. Why not? Therefore, you should be expert. Now I come to this communication skills. We have got certain centers of excellence in communication skills and public speaking. They charge you heavily. Why all that waste of money? Observe Swami, communication skill. What is it I observed? First, whatever he communicates, it suits the occasion. It fits into the occasion. It is meant for the occasion. It is focused for that occasion. That's communication. When some people speak anything other than that which is meant, anything other than that which is to be spoken, that which is to be focused, something he knows, and he speaks and leaves. Swami is not like that. He speaks correct on the subject. How do you say? My experience. Swami, you believe me or not, he took classes for MBA students for 1 full year. MBA boys. He spoke on business management, advertisement, so many subjects. I translated without knowing anything. And at the end of the speech, I used to wonder how I could know, how I could translate without any knowledge of business management. And then Swami asked me, how is my speech? Swami, I could not understand single word. Swami laughs. Because he prompted me. I know that he spoke through me. I'm only a tap. He being the tank. He being the tank allowed this tap to flow water, to run through. So a true leader should have that kind of approach. Being the tank, he cannot be tapped. He should be think tank. Communication skills, coming back to the point, Swami talks to primary school boys. He comes to their level and talks. He does not speak on Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Katha, Upanishads, no nonsense. He comes to their level and talk. Well, there are some people that say, well, I can't come to their level. Please don't come. Better you stay back at home. What is your level after all? You should be able to communicate to the level of the audience. When Swami goes to primary school, you know what he says? Arey boys, did you have ice cream today? Yes, Swami. Huh? How is ice cream? Swami, very, very sweet. Huh? Good, you liked it. Okay. What is the color of the ice cream? Swami, white. Ah, like your dress, so white. Very good. How is the ice cream when you touch? Swami, very cool. Swami, very cool. Little children say that. Then Swami tells it, like ice cream, you should talk sweetly. Like ice cream, you should be white and bright. Like ice cream, you should be sweet and soft. Swami takes this example of ice cream and develops the whole of this subject. Can you imagine that? That is communication skill. You should come down to that level. Or I don't say come down, you should come up to their standard. Come up to their expectation. That is communication skill. I got some slides with me. I got some transparencies with me. Come on, I'll show. You follow or sleep. It is not a communication skill. Communication skill, watch Bhagavan. He'll be noticing who is listening, who is not listening. who is following, who are not following. He will watch the body language, their responses, their faces. That is communication skill. Some people say, I have done very well. How do you know? Oh, people are impressed. Is it self-boast? How do you know? You should know the body language of your. Simple example, when Swami stands on the dais, he will just look at everybody, covering the entire congregation, then starts. Meaning, he will have an estimate of all the people in front of him and develops the talk based on the composition of his audience. So communication skill means you should know the composition of your people who have come to listen to you. Another example, Swami, when he talks to the scientists from atomic energy, Bombay, close to Bombay, it is a one standard. When Swami talks to parliamentarians in Delhi, it is of one standard. When Swami addresses Sanskrit scholars, top people, it is of a different standard. When Swami speaks to general devotees, common devotees, it is of different presentation. This is what presentation is. Communication is important. Presentation is equally important. Because your presentation should make everybody to listen to your talk in rapt attention. They should not yawn. They should not sleep. They should not look at their watches. Praying to you, kindly wind up. It should not be like that. They should feel, is that over? He just started. Is he completing his talk? That should be the feeling. That should be left behind. So, thing is communication and presentation. And the first one is this preparation. Preparation, communication, presentation. Preparation. Preparation should not be wool gathering. Preparation should not be a storytelling. Preparation should not be self-boastful information. Preparation should not be self-projection. Preparation should not be based on self-aggrandizement. Preparation should be broad-based, should be applicable to everybody. So preparation should have that universality, that Catholicity, application to everyone. Preparation. Communication skills. Your voice should be melodious. Your voice is jarring, better you don't speak. If your voice is horrible, better be not a terrible to others. Sometimes as we listen to some of the speakers on TV, really we feel like killing those people who brought them there. Their voice is so horrible. There's no clarity. And therefore, communication needs clarity. Good voice, not confusion. Therefore, communication needs clarity.
అందుకే ఇది వద్దనేది, అందుకే ఇట్లాంటివి నువ్వు ఉన్న ఇంట్లో వాడకుండా పక్కన పడే.
ఏంటంటావు? హలో
sir. Uncle, you can go on. Somebody just Majlo intersperse ayindante. Nothing more.
How much time is left, Gopi?
Uncle, you will have a lot of questions. We normally end up by 9 o'clock. Maybe if you can wind up, and there'll be a lot of questions that will come up to you.
Oh, very good, my boy. Because of a man with him for 5 decades, cannot be given 50 minutes, you know.
Yeah, anyway, I understand that, Uncle. Right.
You know me through and through, Gopi.
I know, Uncle. I know. So I think there'll be a number of questions that will be coming up. That question answer session is very important.
Shall we take up that now?
Just wind up chain, Uncle. You can just complete it and then.
You are so merciful to me, very kind to me, Gopi.
Sai Ram.
Okay.
Pramod, can you switch off your video, Pramod? You're in the mall there. Can you switch it off?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, Uncle Sai Ram.
So, a leadership, I explained, from all dimensions, from all angles, from different perspectives. How to be a leader, I gave with examples, illustrations, based on personal observation, not collected from books, not just a hearsay stories. These are all from our own experience. Living with God is education. My dear youngsters who are given special training in leadership at the national level, having obtained different fields of knowledge, having acquired different fields of information, I appeal to all my youngsters here. Please be inspired by them. Who is a youth? Youth, who are youth? Utsaham, dhairyam, sahasam, buddhi shakti parakramam. That's what he says. Utsaham, dhairyam. It will be full of dynamism, full of vitality, full of energy. Dhairyam. You should have the courage to say what you really feel. You should have courage to say when something wrong is going on. You should have courage to accept when other man is better than you. Utsaham, dhairyam, sahasam. Meaning you should not start with doubt whether I will be able to do it or not. No, be confident with valor. Utsaham, dhairyam, sahasam, buddhi. You should have the sense of discrimination. Discrimination. Buddhi, the intellect. Parakramam, excellent performance. These are the qualities of youth. Bhagawan mentioned in his discourse, taken straight from Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, I am sure, my boys and girls, you are sure to be successful in life. Don't think that you are here by an accident. Don't think that you are here, that you are prompted by somebody to be here. Don't think that you are selected by somebody. No, you are chosen by Bhagawan Baba himself. You are chosen. You are selected by Baba. Understand that. You are not here by an accident. No. Having been chosen by him, we should come up to his expectations. We should rise to the occasion, face the challenge, participate in the divine mission. Come what may. Life is a challenge. Meet it. Come what may. Face the devil of blasphemy, the devil of character assassination, the devil of temptation towards money, the devil of positions. Face the devil. Don't run after the devil. Then what happens? Follow your own conscience, not what the others say. There are many things I can talk to you, my friends. I really convey my compliments, congratulations to Gopi, who has successfully organized the whole thing at the national level all this period. I'm very grateful to Gopi for having invited to talk to you on this pleasant evening. I'm also very thankful to Brother Nimish Pandya, the All India President, who also is following the talk. I know Nimish Pandya for the last 40 years. I know. Nimish Pandya had long experience in Bala Vikas movement. Nimish Pandya had long experience in Sevadal. He occupied different positions in the hierarchy of our organization. And therefore, he could come up to this position. And therefore, I am sure you must have been inspired by a Gopi who started career as Balavika's child. And today, well, he has grown gigantic, equal to his size and personality. And Nimish Pandya, right from Sevadal to the legislative president. Therefore, my friends, leadership is not conferred. Leadership is given not as a matter of favor. Leadership is an achievement. Leadership is an attainment. I thank everybody, every one of you, for having listened to my talk in that attention. I love you. I love you. God bless you. May Baba shower his choicest blessings on each and every participant who gathered here. Thank you so much. So thank you. Now the floor is open to you for question and answer session.
Saram Uncle, thank you. Thank you so much. Chinmay, can you now coordinate the Q&A? Those of you who would like to ask Uncle questions, kindly unmute yourself and ask the question. Let your questions be brief and short so that the other participants can also ask questions. And I request Chinmay to kindly coordinate this Q&A session.
Yes. Come on, don't waste time.
Sairam sir, first of all, we are grateful to have your speech in this NLP program. My question is, when we are associated with Swami, all these leadership qualities, all these whatever you are saying is coming. But when we go to the corporate world, I mean, for our jobs and all daily life, so slowly these things are going out, sir. So how we can continuously keep those things with us?
Good question. Subject to verification, subject to scrutiny. I tell you, all these children, all these Sevadal, all our students who have gone through this leadership program are very, very successful, top managers in the corporate world. How do I say that? I know some of the top directors of private bodies, corporate bodies, coming to Swami, telling him, Swami, we have few from the organization. We have few from your university. They are excellent, Swami. They are excellent, Swami. And this is the qualification for the very appointment itself. If you say you are from Sevadar, if you say you have got training from such organization, that is enough of credentials, successful career. Thank you. Yes.
Next question, please.
Yes.
Sairam,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
I'm Arjun from Mumbai.
Yeah, I see. Good.
Sir, I want to know, as a leader, oftentimes you are expected to be assertive with your team, with the
What do you say? A leader is likely to be
is expected to be assertive at times.
assertive. Okay.
Assertive.
How do
I know.
you how do you be assertive and not hurt the team members or the ones you are dealing with at the same time? You know, it's a fine
Ah,
balance.
I
Uh,
know. I understood. Good. Assertion does not mean harsh. Assertion does not mean rudeness. The assertion does not mean discourteous. Assertion does not mean humiliating others. Assertion does not mean domination. Assertion is possible by virtue of your performance. When your performance is that grand, that performance is enough of assertion, not mere chiding, not by shouting. No. That's not assertion. Swami has asserted any time? No. We just followed him, that's all. Therefore, when you follow what you say, when your thought, word, and deed are in perfect, total harmony, yes, that will be the center, that will be base for your assertion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sai Ram.
Yes, Sanjay, you would like to ask some questions, Sanjay? Go on.
Sai Ram, sir. This is Sanjay from Bangalore. Sir, many times when we listen to a very beautiful bhajan which has been rendered with lot of devotion, that brings a spark in us and it brings us very close to Swami. And whenever we listen to eminent speakers who have been had close association with Swami, we develop that whenever they say talk about Sharanagati and all and devotion to Swami. So we get that, we connect and we feel that we should surrender everything to Swami and not be submit all our worries to him. But the moment we go back to the world, we tend to forget that and get engrossed in the world. But how do we inculcate that equipoise at all situations? Despite that, is it only by prayer to Swami, or what kind of self effort is required to maintain that equipoise in all situations? Sai Ram.
Good question. My dear boys and girls, be sure that answers I have been giving are from Sai literature, from Sai teachings. Please be convinced of that. I can give you the page number and the volume for reference. Now, this question is a genuine question. When you listen to speakers, when you listen to those who have been exposed, who have had long period of stay with Swami, you may get charged. Listening to bhajans, you may feel humble. But when time you come out, well, you are back to your state of arrogance, pride, idiosyncrasies. What does Baba say about it? What is it that you are to surrender? Your property? Who wants it? Your clothes? Not necessary. Your money? Keep it to yourself. What are you to surrender? Surrender your ego. Surrender meant that only. Some people say, one boy said, Swami, I give my life to you. I give my life to you. Swami said, I have not come here to take your life. Keep your life to yourself. Remove that ego. I give. Who are you after all? Therefore, surrender meant giving up ego. Coming back to normal after listening to bhajans, after listening to excellent talks of excellence, if you come back, meaning you are not completely convinced. All that is heard is not deeply rooted. Swami gives example. In Bangalore, what happens? During summer, the whole land is completely dry. But the Bangalore will have rains, early monsoon. Then once it rains, the grass starts growing. Baba tells this. Where from the grass has grown, there are seeds there hidden. Because it is dry, hot summer, they had no chance to come out. When there's a rain, come on, they shoot out. In a similar way, there's basically ego within, pride within, pomp and show within, selfishness, self-interest within. Because of bhajans and the talks, they may have temporarily subsided, passive, and withdrawn. So they may be late, they are latent. Then once they are back, means they have become patent in due course of time. Therefore, remove them from grassroots so that you'll never be back to your pride and ego. Thank you.
Sai Ram,
Here's a Here's a question from Nishita Joshi. Words can't explain how grateful we are that Swami is speaking to you, to us through you. My question to you, sir, is can you tell us one most important thing that is expected of us as an NLP participant of this program that we can start working right from this moment today?
What do you want me to say? Would you repeat the question? Because the question is not clear to me. Sorry.
Can you tell us one important thing? One important thing that as an NLP student, as this program student, we have to start working on from this moment.
Yes. Number one, conviction, deep conviction. Two, total commitment. And three, spirit of dedication, dutifulness, commitment, courage to face the challenges. These are things required to begin with, to start. Am I clear? Thank you.
Aaron, sir.
Yes.
It's Priyanka from Gujarat here. Sir, as a leader, I just want to ask what should be the most important for us if I'll get the option that I have to give the importance to my journey or a destination. What should be the most important for me as a leader?
Self-transformation. The very title of this course or the program is self-transformation. At the end of the course, you should feel, I'm a better person. At the end of the course, you should have that self-confidence. At the end of the course, you should have that spirit of self-sacrifice. Therefore, you should have that feeling of self-satisfaction, which ultimately leads to self-realization. These are the four pillars: self-confidence, self-sacrifice, self-satisfaction, and self-realization. This is the equipment, electronic gadget, essential to begin with. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, sir.
Rakshit?
Sir, actually, I had a small question. Sir, you have been blessed by Swami immensely to be in his to be with him in his physical presence, and you have had opportunity to have many conversations with Swami as well, sir. I had a small doubt actually after listening to many satsangs, sir. Actually, we generally often categorize Lord Hanuman to be in the form of a monkey, sir. So and we have often heard in many satsang that only in human form can we attain moksha. So, sir, did Lord Hanuman attain moksha in that form itself, or had you had any discourse or conversation with Swami in which you can let us know?
Boy, you are really a good seeker. Good. You are an aspirant. Very good. The answer is this: all forms are mine. All names are mine. Sarvarupa dharam shantam. So he is in everyone and everyone is in him. If you worship Hanuman, well, he'll bless you in the form of Hanuman. If you worship Rama, yes, he'll bless you as Rama. I know some of the Christians accepting Baba as the second coming of Christ. I know the Buddhist monks from Bhutan who saw Buddha in him. Therefore, it is not change of loyalty. It is not conversion. It is a kind of your chosen presiding deity. Go forth in your chosen way. That's what Baba says. Go forth in your chosen way. You will have my blessings. That's what Baba said. Thank you.
So here's the next question. This comes from Aradhana from Chandigarh. My question to you, sir, how to love Bhagwan I respect him, I follow him, I worship him. But I don't love him like Meera. What should a person like me do to love him when I have not seen him and we're not been with him?
Good, good. These type of quality questions are expected from youngsters. I'm glad about it. One might not have seen Rama, but still he is close worshipper of Ramachandra. Many might not have seen Krishna. They worship, adore, sing in glory of Krishna. How many people saw and spent time with Jesus Christ? So it's not that. It is mental, psychological. It's not physical. No. It is psychological. It is not a person. It is a phenomenon. Therefore, when you accept divinity as a phenomenon, it is wonderful. But when you bring down the divinity to human form of a monkey or a bird, Garuda, or a peacock of Kumaraswamy, or a rat of Ganesha, or an elephant face of Ganesha, you are reducing the divinity to a limited form and a name. But this is not a mistake. If you go on worshipping the same God whom you have been all through, will take you ultimately to that state of nameless, formless, attributeless, nirakara, nirguna, niranjana, nitya, suddha, bhukta, jnana swarupa, the effulgence and the brilliance of knowledge. That's what it is. Thank you.
Sairam sir, my question is on the Navavida Bhakti Marga. So Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. As a translator of Swami's discourses, if you could share your experiences on the time spent towards Shravanam. Because for me, when I listen to Swami's discourses, I pause to listen and it can go for days to reach Mananam and Nididhyasanam and forward. How has your experience been with just listening to Swami's discourses? Thank you, Sairam.
Would you believe me if I say the truth?
Yes, sir.
I enjoy Swami's speeches. I enjoy his discourses. I experience his bliss while translating his discourses. And I also have divine romance with him. Divine romance with him. I had close association as a dear close bosom friend. I experienced the different stages because when I'm about to translate, he will call me. Please believe me. What, Anil Kumar? Your dress is nice. Don't think too much of your dress. Think of my translation also. Do you expect God to say that? He is my friend. Bhakta Sakha Bhagawan Krishna Murari Bhavavayahari Ye Giridhari Gopal Pati Vihari Hridaya Vihari Bhakta Sakha Bhagavan. So he treated me as a friend. I could joke with him. There in Delhi, I stayed with him. There at the internal headquarters, they were serving food. And on third day of his Swami comes close to me and asks, Anil Kumar, how is the food? I said, Swami, items are many. Taste is same, Swami. Oh, you want spicy stuff? Then call the state president. He's Andhra Wala. He needs spicy stuff. Dalo, mirchi dalo, mirchi dalo. And the next morning he says, Anil Kumar, here is the bottle mango pickle. Transported by Indian Airline, specially brought for you from Hyderabad. That is the friendship I had with him. I had a kind of relationship as a father, as a mother. Mata Pita Guru Daivam Mariam Tayunive. Swami, your mother, your father, your teacher. All these stages I experienced because of greatest blessing of Bhagawan Baba that made me spend time with him. I have not attained. I am not that great. It is something Baba has chosen me. That's all. I am chosen, but I have not made any attempt. I never dreamt long back in 70s when I was just getting into Swami's field. I saw a postcard size of Swami's picture, Dr. Amarendra translating his talk. I was praying within myself, will I have opportunity to translate your talk, Swami? Will I have one photo while translating your talk, Swami? What happened? Today, I have got 600 odd number of photos with him. Is it my achievement? It is his gift. It is gift gifted to me unconditionally. You see? Therefore, my friends, all our desires are fulfilled if they are not too selfish. If those desires that spoil you, better you don't have. When you are open, then Swami comes close to you. More open you are, closer is Swami to you. If you are closed by your own narrow-mindedness, regional failings, linguistic chauvinism, all the dirty, nonsensical feelings and sentiments within you, you remain where you are. Be open. Yes, he'll fulfill any desire of yours. Sai Ram, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sir. Sai Ram?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, my name is Sai Sankita. I feel so lucky that you were able to spend this much time with us, and whatever you are saying, I can consider it is what Swami is saying to us. So now my question is, sometimes we struggle a lot in our life. At times I used to think, why Swami, why you are doing like this to us, like so down. But somewhere I have heard that whatever is the blessing and whatever is the sufferings in this life is because of some previous birth's karma balam. Is it really like that? Is there something called as karma balam? If yes, how can we rid of this bad things what we have done in our earlier birth? What Swami has told about this?
I congratulate the organization for gathering the best of the youngsters I have ever met till this day. I spent close to 5 decades in teaching profession. I think every one of you is a precious gem. That's what it is, which I want to tell you. Well, coming to your question, put it straight to me once again. Yes?
Sir, can we get rid of our sufferings, which we are earning because of our previous karma balam?
Now it clicked. Yes, yes. I committed a murder. District court gave me life imprisonment. High court said, better be hanged. Supreme Court confirmed. Yes. And then gave me the same ruling that I should be hanged because of committing a murder. But when the file goes to President of India, he has got the right to pardon. This is the example given by Baba. What the district court, high court, Supreme Court may say, but the President has got authority to pardon. In a similar way, karma phala can be excused by the President of the universe. 1. Number 2, by praying to him, the intensity of suffering will be less. Another example Baba has given. Supposing it caught fire here, burnt here, very burning. When you apply Bernal ointment, soothing. Though that blisters are there. But intensity comes down by the application of Barna. Another example, Baba again. You may have excruciating pain, but when you are given compose or chloroform, you will not know the pain. So by the grace of God, we are ready to face the suffering. Do you mean to say Sai devotees don't have any sufferings of this kind? We have come here to suffer. Being a Sai devotee, we suffer gracefully. We suffer joyfully. We suffer and we welcome that because it will polish me. One example that Baba has given, when the gold is put in the fire, it is fit to be made into a jewel. When the sugar cane is crushed, you will get the sugar out of it. Similarly, these are not sufferings. They are challenges. They are the tests of the divine to shape us into better personalities. Thank you.
Here's a question.
Sairam, sir.
One second. Here's a question from Sailesh Das. He's been sending me this question. Being with Swami, who is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, the all-knowing, even Professor Anil Kumar must have controlled his thoughts sometime. Living with God and living with Him, loving Him, is very difficult sometimes as a friend too. What do you have to say about this, sir? Being with divinity, can we lie? Did you ever have that kind of a situation in your life with Swami?
Well, I tell you, as I said earlier, when I'm open, when I don't have guilty consciousness, and I'm ready to face punishment, whatever it is given, I have no sense of fear. Even if Swami scolds me, I'm ready to accept. My ego is not affected. So this, when there is ego, when it is touched, when it is affected, it erupts in its own style. It manifests in its own ways and methods. So when you are egoless, there may be mistakes I committed. Why there may be? There are. There may be blunders, mistakes. Yes, as a human being. But I'm open for correction. I'm open. And I'm frank in telling also. And therefore, openness, fearlessness, being frank, will make your onward journey forward and farther. Thank you. Sairam.
We have
Sairam,
almost
sir.
another 1 second. We have almost about 4 or 5
Yes.
questions lined up right now. Maybe we'll take the last 2 questions now, and then the rest of the questions I'll request Uncle to actually send out his voice message for those questions, because some of them are very lengthy questions. It might take us a lot of time. It's already 9:20 and I don't want to hold up Uncle. So last 2 questions, please, from your side.
Yeah. Sairam, sir, this is Siddharth. Can I ask a question?
Yes, Siddharth, go ahead.
Yeah. Sairam, sir, this is Siddharth from Odisha. So I have a question here. So after complete Saranagati, still sometimes I have felt like I have a doubt in my faith. Like there is some lack in my faith, and whatever I surrender myself, that is not completely. So what you will suggest, like anything happened in your life with your experience with Swami?
Okay. Let me be fearless and frank now. On my part, I was not willing to come to Bangalore Whitefield College as a principal. I was not at all willing. I was enjoying the position of the state president in Andhra Pradesh, spending all the time in the midst of the crowds and Sai centers. I was not ready. I know living with him is a challenge, is not that easy. Punishment for any mistake is capital punishment. I know. Therefore, I was not willing to come. But when Baba asked me at Madras, Sundaram, Anil Kumar, I want you to take charge as the principal of the college. Swami, it's all your grace. I have not consulted my family members. I have not asked how much of salary would I get. Will I get any salary protection? Nothing of that sort. And I had to be alone in Bangalore, where the family was there at my native place. And Karnataka people, they're soft people by temperament. They take bland diet, whereas a fellow like me, hot, spicy stuff. I had to accept it. Therefore, spirit of acceptance is surrender. Number two, this I-ness should go. I is surrendered. Oh, I still remain. It cannot be surrendered. Surrender is total. When I-ness is gone. So I-ness should go, meaning egolessness and spirit of acceptance. That's what surrender is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Arun, you have a question from Tamil Nadu? Yeah, who's that, please?
Sairam sir, this is Jyotirmai from Telangana.
Yes.
Sairam sir, am I audible?
Yes, Jyotirmai, go ahead.
Yes, yes sir. Sir, you are energetic and active throughout the day. What's the secret behind that? I just want to know, we being youngsters, if we are really like you, we'll really achieve our milestones and we'll really do good to the society. What makes you to be energetic and active throughout the day?
Okay. Sai ambrosia, Sai elixir, Sai amrut, that Sai spirit runs through my blood. I have been facing even today, in spite of 5 decades, so many challenges. But nothing could shake me because I live in full confidence, in total conviction. And this energy, Baba is the generator. It generates that activity and sends forth that energy into my blood, into my tone, so I could speak for hours and hours. Doesn't matter. I have enough of stuff to talk throughout the night. Why for one day, for a week, or even more? Don't get worried. You are not going to put to the torture, don't worry. But joy is God. Bliss is God. Please understand that. Be joyful. Keep smiling. Love life. Self-torture is not life. Fasting is not life. Keeping awake throughout night is not life. Be life positive. Be life affirmative. Blissful. Enjoy. Smile. That is true religion. Bliss is God. God is bliss. That blissful state you will certainly have. That activity you will certainly have. Because it is something like, as you take B complex, it will be energy. As you take calcium condos, Sai literature is multivitamin. That is to me. Sai message. In fact, this is my son. Nothing. No puja, no ritual. I don't do anything. This spreading his message is my life. The day when I cannot spread, yes, there is no life at all. Therefore, message is my life. Sharing his message is my life. That's what it is. That gives me activity. That gives me enthusiasm. That makes me energetic. Understand me? Thank you. Thank you.
Uncle, there's a continuation to this question that you just answered. This comes from my home actually. How important is it for a leader to have such a captivating smile like yours?
Oh, very good. I don't have any expectations. I don't have no expectations. Because I do this, I don't expect any recognition. Because I have done this, I don't have any expectation to get a position. So, non-expectational, one. Number two, I don't compare myself with anybody. Be that the top man, topmost man, or bottomless pit. I'm not bothered. I don't compare myself with anybody. Why? Rose is as beautiful as chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum is as beautiful as a jasmine flower. Every flower is unique. So you are born unique. Don't compare yourself with anybody. Second secret. First, non-expectational nature. Second, non-comparison, non-comparative spirit. And third, no competition. I don't compete with anybody. Because God is so great that He has given talents to everybody. Discover yourself. Know your talent and develop yourself. Don't imitate. By imitation, you will lose yourself. Imitation is human, creation is divine, says Swami. Discover yourself, discover your talent, improve upon it. Then you'll be very successful, smiling, vigilant, active, jumping, dancing, singing. Why not? All will be at your doorstep.
Right, Uncle. Any other question? I have a lot of questions, but I think it'll take a lot of time. I will ask this last question to you, sir, which seems very relevant and everybody should listen to the answer. This comes from Nitish Verma from Gujarat, I think. Sometimes there comes a feeling that I am very insignificant and in a dilemma that whether I could bring about a change in self or in my duty of work. What would you suggest me in the context where Baba being a role model, how do we progress forward?
My boy, significance comes on its own with God's grace. Two, your talents. And three, your humility. Number four, your performance. So, recognition comes by those things, not by just moving about, running around, bossing over everybody. It is not recognition. It is purely temporary. Recognition, simple example, Mother Teresa, how simple she is. Can any person be more recognized than her? Look at Swami Ranganathan Swami, how humble he is of Ramakrishna Mission. Professor Kasturi, how humble he is. Rama Brahman of Bangalore, how humble he is. Recognition comes out of humility. Recognition comes out of your performance, your dedication, your commitment to your work, not for longing for recognition. The more you long, the more distant will it be. Just neglect it. Don't worry. If it comes or not, what do I care? Cuckoo bird sings, not for recognition. Moonlight, not for recognition. Flower blossoms, not for recognition. But recognition comes on its own. Everybody loves the flowers. Flower never says, this is recognition. No, no. Therefore, recognition comes on its own, not by craving for it. Thank you.
The last question of the day, I think this pertains to most of the youngsters who are working right now. This comes from Arun of Tamil Nadu. So my question is, sometimes we have conflicts between teammates. As the leader, how do we handle the situation and develop unity in the team? These are some situations that we face daily in our official commitments.
Why there is no unity? because there's no purity. There's no purity, therefore there's no unity. Number two, you want some kind of domination. I want to dominate him. I want to be special. I want to be unique. I want to be above him. This brings all the poison to any body or to any institution. Therefore, don't worry about it. Therefore, when you just don't care, come and work, everything comes on its own. Even if it does not come, what if? It is God who should know. It is God who is the witness, not these people. He should say, my dear son, you have done a good job. No matter whether the world says or not. Am I clear? Am I clear, please?
Yes, Uncle. I think that answers the question. If you permit me the last question, Uncle, I have a very important question here.
You are always saying last, and going with that last never lost.
The last is going to last now. This is a question that's, yes. Uncle, this question is, dear sir, we think we are very strong in spirituality. Sometimes we feel down, we feel let down mentally, and our energy also goes down because of the surrounding environment and situations. We are not able to come out of it. And at that point of time, we also forget Swami. How do you help us? How do we bring Swami into our mind immediately? And how do we behave or tackle the situation and come out of it? We would like a special advice on this.
I'll give you easy, simple techniques. When you are down in spirit, do Sankirtan, sing bhajans, or listen to his cassettes, bhajans, Prashanti bhajans. First remedial measure. Second, when you feel that you are not connected to Swami, when you are depressed, go through his discourses, listen to those cassettes, read his literature. If you have no time for that, just watch his picture. The photo speaks. The photo speaks. He appears in your dreams and he tells you what is to be done. I can give you million examples to each point I have been explaining, which I have been elucidating. Therefore, first, Sankirtana. Second, Satsanga. Keep the company with like-minded people. Seva, service. And fourth, what you call Sadgrandha Patana or Parayana or going through Sai literature. That will keep you in spirit forever and evermore. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle. I think we'll call it a day now. It's been a long day for you. And there are a few questions that I will send it to you by mail. On behalf of the entire NLP program and the academic board of the Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation, I take it a great privilege and offer a sincere gratitude to Professor Anil Kumar Garu for being with us for such a long couple of hours, this evening. He has so beautifully brought out the message of Swami. In fact, the entire program, we thought the last culminating sessions, we should have one particular session titled My Life is My Message. And there is no better person in the history of Sathya Sai Mission than Professor Anil Kumar, who could really speak about this particular topic. And in his 1.5 hour of talk today, he spoke about Swami and his message so clearly. He spoke about how Swami is sympathetic, empathetic, gratitude. Swami, how knowledgeable and wisdom he comes to. He talked about communication skills, public speaking. My God, he spoke about every important topic that Swami, during his sojourn of about 85 years, has shown to all of us how a human should live. And I think there is no better leader. I remember in 1996, when Swami asked this first question, who is a leader in interview room? My first answer was, Swami, you. And today, Professor Anil Kumar Uncle has nailed the statement once again. There is no better leader for all of us to emulate Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba is our leader, our ultimate leader for all situations across our life. Thanking you once again, Uncle, for being with us. We'd be very happy to have you address us again and again. Every year we'll be having this course, and I'm sure that this topic, you are the only one person who could actually address this topic. And Sathya Sai, the leader, is actually a beautiful topic, and wishing you great life, good health, and divine blessings from Swami. I request all the participants to unmute and offer our salutations to Professor Anil Kumar Garu. We will now end this program with Shanti Mantram. I request all of you to join Shanti. Shanti Mantram, please. Salakshi, please lead the Shanti Mantram.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Baba ki Jai.
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 Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sir.
Thank you once again, Uncle Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sir.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sir. Thank you.